and the rest of the Peloton to the line. Welcome to the 58th Manhattan Beach Grand Prix, brought to you by Chevron Monster.
Doing walking pace, traffic on the bike lane. Crazy busy here in Manhattan right now. What's up guys? What's up cycling fanatics? It is a beautiful day here in Los Angeles. And today is the California State Championship. Oh yeah. Well, I'm actually in Manhattan Beach right now, right here at the racetrack.
Hey Jasper!
Thank you.
Yeah,
Hey, you too.
Hey, how are you?
All right, picked up the race number first. Now I'm gonna get the bike ready, switch the wheels, because I've got some tubular wheels on the backpack. Pro women are up now, so we've got an hour to the start of our race. Hey Wells, you made it before me. Good job, man.
1 second. I beat you by 1 second.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey.
I almost missed my connecting flight Denver.
Oh no, but you didn't. All right, so dude, I woke up this morning 3 o'clock.
Good morning.
That's always how it goes with my jet lag. So I've been up for a long time. Yesterday I flew in from Amsterdam to Los Angeles. Yesterday was a very long day, as usual, when I come here and do a race. I got into bed at like 7 o'clock in the afternoon, slept until maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. So I was up all morning, and then I took a little nap from 10 till 12, and then grabbed my stuff and I came out here. Yeah, I'm gonna get ready, pin my numbers, and then see how it goes. We've got strong riders. There's a lot of prize money, as always. Women are passing now. I've got a podium place to defend. Last year I got 3rd place. So yeah, I don't know, man. 2 years ago I got 10th here in Manhattan. Last year, 3rd place. Who knows? 3 times the charm. Yeah, who knows? 3rd time might be a charm. I don't know, man. It was the first time I got called up to the starting line just before the race. That was pretty cool, and it was, of course, because last year I was on the podium, and they're calling up all these big guns, and the last one to get called up was me. So that was pretty cool. Starting at the first row of this criterium. Here we go, Manhattan Beach Grand Prix 2019. It was a 1.3 mile loop, which is almost 2 kilometers, and it was 90 minute criterium. So that means 90 minutes of racing, which ended up to be around 65 or 70 kilometers, and there were 100 riders on the start. So that's a lot of riders. I'm gonna take you through the first lap. If you're not familiar with the videos of last year and the year before, this will be new. If you are familiar, I'm just gonna point out some important parts. This was the first turn, and right after the first turn would be a little bit uphill. The wind of the day was, it's always from the ocean, so that's from the southwest. So on the whole last part it would be a headwind. Right now we're coming up at the top of this first sort of little hill, and we're going downhill here. It goes pretty fast, as you can see, up to like 60 kilometers an hour, and that's only in the first lap when there's, you know, we're just getting up to speed, but we're on a tailwind. There's a couple of really strong guys today. Of course, Legion of Los Angeles. We've got Justin Williams here in front of me, Stars and Stripe jersey. All the other riders of their team are in black. And then we've got Robin Carpenter, who's a pro continental rider. He's in orange. I'll point him out later. And then we've got the number 98 here on my left in the light blue, Ryan Jasper. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but he was a pro rider. I think he's a continental rider. So a couple of really strong guys. Well, I didn't know Ryan before the race. So I knew that Robin, Carpenter, and of course the Williams brothers were very strong. So I was gonna keep an eye on them. And right now we're gonna go straight into the attacks. I stayed in the front. I was not gonna be in the peloton, sit in for the whole race and then try to sprint. I wanted to be very active in this race because there was so many strong riders, and if they would be attacking and if they would get in the break with all their teammates, they would definitely stay away. So I did not want to risk just sitting in all day and then not being able to sprint for a good position because there was a breakaway of like 6 or 8 riders. So right here I'm going full gas, as you can see, very fast. We're going downhill a little bit into the wind, but still downhill, 63 kilometers an hour. I was on a compact gearing, so going that fast I actually spin out a little bit. So it was a lot of times I just had to coast, keep my head down, coasting, and try to stay in the draft of the rider in front of me just to keep up that speed. Because if I would start pedaling, I would just spin out. And I know you can ask me like, why are you on a compact? But I have this bike in Los Angeles and I train on this bike in the mountains, and I just need that compact to be able to spin light enough when I train. So, and I live out of a hotel when I'm in Los Angeles, so it's not that easy to just swap bikes or swap gears and everything. And there's even teams with radios right here. The green team on the right side, he's talking into his radio. I think he was, I'm not sure if he was the only one with a radio, but so on this very short criterium, they're talking to each other with radios. I've never seen that, but they're taking it pretty serious. There were a couple other teams who had multiple riders who were able to sort of set up a lead-out train if it was necessary. Right now, I was just gonna sort of stay with the first 30-ish riders because I didn't wanna fall back too far, because then I would not be able to see what's going on. Okay, I'm adding a rear view right now. I had 2 cameras on the bike, and this was a moment where I just started laughing during the race, because I'm sitting in the peloton and I look through the riders. I see Justin Williams attack, and as soon as he goes, everybody gets on the pedals and just like bees on honey, they just boom, they blast straight to him. So it was very obvious that everybody was looking at Justin Williams, since he was the current state champion. Well, I wanted to be with it, so I just go on the inside here. I overtake so many riders, but then this guy is going so slow. I was like, dude, what are you doing? There's plenty of space always in these turns. And I told him, like, why are you braking? And I don't know, but anyway, if you want to look it back, he was just going ridiculously slow through that turn. In general, you can go faster than you think, and these turns are pretty wide. I know it's a 180 turn, but still there's a lot of space. And like I said, the attacks were on. Right here you can see Robin Carpenter go, and who is on his wheel? Corey Williams. He was like glue onto Robin today. It was insane. And when I saw them go, I was gonna jump straight on it, and it was very awesome that this guy is taking a pull right here. Looking in the rear camera, I've got a cycling fanatic on my tail, and I was just keep on pulling to close this gap, and then just gonna stay with them. I wasn't gonna pull through because it's on them to really force a break or to make it happen. They're the stronger riders. They've got like a big team. I think Legion of Los Angeles had 8 riders in their team today, and yeah. So I was trying to, if they would go, I wanted to be with them. Robin keeps on pulling up the hill right here. As you can see, it's going pretty fast, pushing out 4, 5, 6, 700 watts to stay with these guys on their wheel. Behind me there's a lot of riders, so it's still not enough to break off from the peloton, but this could happen any moment. I'm just staying there. But as soon as Robin stops, Corey does nothing. So I think he's really just trying to sort of shut down any move that's happening, because they're specialized in field sprints. or in the sprint with their team. So they just want to know, they want to make sure that if they go, they're on it, but they're not gonna work for it. So that's really what became obvious also after watching this video, of course, because I have the time to watch it and then I can really judge sort of what's going on during the race. If you're very experienced, if you're very good, you can of course see these things very fast. I did not see that so fast. I was just trying to stick with these moves, and which was gonna cost me a lot of energy. And you're gonna see that throughout the race. We're only 16 kilometers in, which is gonna be, I don't know, like maybe 20 minutes. And from now on, it was gonna just get harder and harder and harder. I was gonna jump on so many attacks during this race, which was really gonna take a big chunk out of my my energy. So right now, it's actually a preem lap. I wasn't going for preems in this race. I was like, okay, these preems, there's a lot of nice prizes, but it wasn't really my my goal to get any preems. I never really go for those preems in LA. Just trying to focus on getting a good result. But now I was in the front, so I figured, well, if I'm in the front, I have a good shot at sprinting for this preem. So let's do it. Let's pull a sprint and try and get this preem. I was in perfect position. The other guys were not really going. First rider was going for it, but it was relatively easy for me to overtake him. And I won a saddle, so that's pretty cool. A new saddle for the bike. And taking this sprint, I got a massive gap going through the first corner. And of course, boom, big counter right there. Legion of Los Angeles had a new rider in their team, Corey Lockwood, which is the national time trial champion. So another strong rider made their team even stronger. Obviously, he can push out crazy numbers for a ridiculously long time, and just being on his wheel is gonna sort of destroy you. So yeah, which we're gonna see later in this race. Right now I'm on Corey Williams' wheel again, who is on Robin Carpenter's wheel. So the guy in orange is a Pro Conti. He's attacking right now, and yeah, Corey's on him like glue, and I'm on Corey right now, just trying to stay with them. If they break away, then I would work, and I would try to make it work, but right now I'm just staying on their attacks to not miss it, I guess. So we had been attacking a little bit up front, but yeah, the peloton catches up eventually. You can hear the bell again for another preem. There were a lot of preems. And a little further up the race, like I said, this was going downhill with a headwind. And usually staying in somebody's wheel requires you to sort of brake. But it was a nice, very nice way to sort of move back up to the front. So I was always coasting, keeping my head down, very low on the bike. And then going the slipstream with the guys in front of you, get more speed, overtake them, and this is an easy way to move up. It will cost you 0 extra energy, and when you're in spot 50, you can easily slide up to, you know, spot 20, and sometimes you can slide up all the way to the front without using any power. So that's awesome, and it's a great way to move back up in the field. Well, I just moved up to the front, and there's another attack going on straight away. So it was a good move. You can see it's single file right there. Right now this guy is leaving a gap, but I see these guys, I see these riders up front who are super strong. So I pushed a little bit, and then I wanted to get on their wheel right now. So going through this turn way faster than them already made that happen. So that's another way to really close gaps. I've talked about this before. If you got some good cornering skills and you have enough confidence to go fast through these corners, it's easy to close gaps this way and then get on somebody's wheel when you need to. So right now I just closed that gap, got straight on the wheel of this rider, and he's following Justin. So Justin and Corey and Robin, they were sort of alternating attacks and jumping over and over and over and over again, and I just could not afford for them to break away. and for me not to be there. So I jumped on all these attacks. Look behind me. Robin is going, boom, full gas. Who's on his wheel? Corey Williams. He was like, I think his assignment was, you're gonna stay with Robin all day long. So as I'm sort of following one guy, we get countered by the other one, and the rider in front of me, he pulls through, which is nice. So now we can sort of attack or chase them and try to close this gap, because if I would get in the break with Corey, Robin and Justin, I'm pretty sure they're gonna work for it to stay away. So I'm pushing really hard up this hill because I know I need to close this gap fast. And look who's behind me. Justin Williams. He sees me go and he's like, okay, I'm gonna get on your wheel and then sit in, because he was not gonna take over and go for a little pull to close the gap to his little brother. No, I'm pretty sure he was not gonna do that. But luckily the other rider, he was gonna do it. So he's pulling through and taking a pull right now. So we still kept up the pace to close this gap towards those 3 guys in the lead. And like my heart rate is 186. I'm dying. This is a really hard moment. For your information, my threshold is about 179. So I'm pushing way above my threshold, and looking behind me, which is pretty funny. Let's repeat that. We've got Justin looking back. He sees this Methods to Winning guy on his tail, and he's doing some moves to shake him off, like letting the pace go, then pulling a little sprint back toward in my wheel, trying to get rid of this guy. But well, I think he stayed on our tail. So I'm with 3 or 4 riders trying to close the gap still, and like I said, I'm pushing really hard. I'm way above my threshold, 186 on the heart rate, which is hard, but I still keep pushing because I know if I let it go, big chance they're gonna stay away. So I went through this corner so fast that my rear end was sliding a little bit. View from the sideline over there, thanks for the footage, it's hardly visible, but I had the feeling like either my tire sort of tried to run off the rim, or it was sliding. But I was riding these really awesome tubular wheels. I checked them after the race, they were glued on very, very well. So it was definitely the sliding of the rubber a little bit, breaking out of the rear wheel. Really like taking the edge of what's possible, which is awesome. Like if you never go to the extreme, if you never try to find that limit, you'll never know how fast you can go through a corner. And now I knew I was able to go really fast, but I needed a good line. And we're being overtaken now by so many riders from the peloton. It's sort of a mess. There's all these loose riders. I don't want to have them chase those guys in the front, then group up with them and stay away. So I'm just jumping on anyone's wheel right now. And we've got Corey Lockwood of the Legion of Los Angeles crew. He's in front. He's on a red bike. National champion time trial. So you know he's got like a 20-minute power, which is insane. I probably can do that for 1 minute and then I'm burned up. So I'm staying in his wheel and I'm burning up. I'm burning a lot of matches right now. Like one big fire torch is just firing off right now for me. And as you can see, because I'm already jumping on all these attacks, I have no time to recover, and I just have to go straight away. So I'm already above my, like, in the red zone, and I just have to keep on going. So it was really, really hard. This was a really hard time of the race, and I was actually really afraid I was gonna drop right now. I was like, okay, if this doesn't stop really fast, I'm gonna blow up and I'm gonna fall back to the peloton and they're gonna stay away, and that's game over. Goodbye, go home. You tried, but it's not good enough. But luckily I could hang on. I could stay with them and just drafting. I was just doing drafting. He didn't even flick his arm. He didn't even want anyone to overtake. And I'm not sure why he was doing this, because it was Corey Williams in the breakaway, which is his team, and now he's closing the gap to him. So I'm not sure. I think the Legion of Los Angeles, they just wanted it to be a field sprint because that's their specialty. But there were so many variables this day that I decided before the race I'm not gonna go all out on the field sprint and just sit in the peloton all day. I just could not do that. So that's why I'm jumping on all these attacks and yeah, burning match after match after match. And this was very different than my strategy of last year, because last year we actually had a big team. SDBC had a big team, and I stayed in the peloton pretty much all race. So I was kind of fresh approaching the end of the race, but this race was so different. As you can see, there's more attacks, and there's strong riders out there. So I'm jumping on it again. I'm trying to save as much energy by drafting and not jumping myself into the wind and just following other riders who jump on this attack. And looking back, we have a massive gap. Alright, so I'm pretty much the last rider who jumps towards this attack, towards this breakaway, and then there's a massive gap. So if we start rotating very well, because all these riders have teammates in the peloton, we were probably going to stay away. So every single attack is a very big chance to stay away, but it never really happened. But I was getting tired, so I had to rest up a little bit. I'm falling back a little bit, still trying to keep an eye on Justin, since he's the former champ. I had the idea that it was either going to be Corey or Justin who was going to be the main man of the team. Maybe they sort of alternate who gets the win. I don't know what their strategy is, but Robin is attacking again, and now it's Justin on his wheel. So I see that, and luckily a lot of riders were responding. But yeah, they still got away, and then there's a couple of riders who sort of keep their legs still to block out the road. Not really, but a little bit. And there's a couple gaps in between, and I jump in these gaps to stay with this attack. And you can see it. It's again Robin Carpenter in the front, Justin on his wheel, a couple guys from Legion of LA, and boom, another breakaway. Looking back, we have a big gap. There's a couple single riders, but if we start rotating fast, that's it. But it doesn't happen. Like every time they try, and it doesn't happen. In this case, I just did not have either like the team or the legs to try and jump myself. It would not really make sense. I really had to try and either go for the field sprint or try to jump on another breakaway, because yeah, I'm outnumbered by a lot of teams. There were a lot of teams with a lot of riders, and it's kind of hard to get your tactics when you're a single rider. Unless your name is Peter Sagan, then you can win in any race. So right now, 34 kilometers in the race. Dude, it was so hard, and I'm trying to get some rest in the peloton, so I'm a little bit further back to draft a little bit. But I didn't want to stay all the way back the whole time, because you can't really see what's going on. So any chance I have to move up without any energy, I would do it. So the same way I was doing it before, trying to take some corners on the inside, trying to coast on the downhills, and all that stuff works very, very well. So right now we're about 50 minutes into this race. The entire race is 90 minutes, an hour and a half. So in general there would be attacks until about 30 minutes to go, and then it would be very clear that it was going to be a field sprint. My experience is that, you know, the guys from the biggest team, whoever's going to do this lead out, are going to go to the front and they're going to start pulling, and from that time, you know, some riders would try to attack, but in general nobody would succeed. So this is sort of where this moment was sort of starting. The peloton got more together. It was not single file at the front the whole time, and I knew that it would be a waste of energy to keep jumping and to keep going full gas at the front, because right now Legion of Los Angeles is probably gonna organize soon towards the front and get themselves in position already for the last couple laps for that sprint lead out. So I was pretty sure it was gonna be a fuel sprint from here. Too bad, because I spent a lot of energy. Matches were gone, but yeah, that's how it goes. I don't want to bet on one horse. I had a couple different options in this race, and now I had to focus on the field sprint and getting into the best position I could, because that's really what it's all about on the sprint. It's getting into the position. It's not about the best power. You can have the best sprint of the whole peloton. If you're not in good position, it's not gonna happen. 45 kilometers in the race. We're getting close to the end, and it's not going slow. I mean, whatever I just said doesn't mean that it's all going slow. There were still people attacking. There were still surges. There were still, you know, sometimes a couple guys at the road, like you see right now. So yeah, it was still going fast, but I'm just following. I'm not gonna go to the front too much, because I knew that, you know, the riders that would jump away right now would probably get caught pretty easy. Which is maybe kind of reverse to other criteriums that I've raced. Maybe in the Netherlands, when the criteriums are so hard with sharp corners, at the end everybody gets tired, and that's actually the moment where you want to attack, because then people can't follow anymore. But in this case, they're such a strong team that they're gonna organize towards the front, and they're really gonna bring up the pace high enough so everybody stays together. If people jump away, they're just gonna bring them back, and it's a very different way of racing. This was actually my third race I raced here in Los Angeles this year. Last year I did 5 races. The year before I did a couple races, and this year I did 2 races at the Memorial Weekend. I was supposed to do another race, but I got sick on that day, so I didn't race. So I only did 3 races. I still have those other races to be uploaded. So this is the first race video I'm actually publishing this year. Almost 50 kilometers in the race, and like I said, the Legion of Los Angeles team, which are present with 8 riders, of which 2 national champions, are getting position. We have about 15 kilometers left, which is maybe 10 laps, a little less I think, and they're moving to the front. They're gonna be riding in a train, setting the pace. Anybody that just, you know, comes beside them, they're gonna match it, they're gonna overtake him again, and in general everybody is just gonna be fighting for their wheel. So I knew that I needed to get into position, but I didn't want to get into position too soon. If I would try to stay in this position, because now I'm in a very good position, I'm like in the last guy of their train. If I would try to stay in this position, it would cost me a lot of energy. So I was gonna try to sort of free flow around the peloton and not get into position before like 2 or 3 laps to go, and then try to hold it. That was my idea from this part of the race, and that actually went very well. I'm gonna show you how I did it and how I sort of stayed in this position. You got CJ, the big guy just in front of me with the black kit. He's the sweeper of the train, so he's most of the time he's the last guy of the wheel. He's battling it out with Rashan Bahati right now, who is right in front of me. And then you can see on the left side there's a lady with the number 6 in her hand. That's the lap sign, which I couldn't find until the last couple laps, but we've got 6 laps to go right now. So 6 laps to go, and everybody's gonna be fighting for that wheel. So I'm gonna not try to be too fixed. If I move back a little bit, I'm not too worried. I'm gonna move forward when I can. Like I said before, I'm gonna try and not use as much energy. So here I'm way back. We're approaching 5 laps to go. There's a lot of riders in front of me, but I still have time to make it up. And if I you know, go through a corner very well, or I draft very good on the downhill, I use my momentum, I could easily overtake a bunch of riders until maybe 2 laps, because then it's just going to go so fast and everybody's going to get more and more aggressive that it's going to be harder to overtake. But right now I'm going to go in the inside. I'm overtaking like 20 riders in this corner right now. Just go fast through the inside. Usually there's space, so it's a sort of a little gamble, but I made up so many spots right here. Maybe other riders will sort of not like you for doing that, but that's the way you can move up easy in the last couple laps. And sometimes they close the door on you, so you need to be ready to brake or be ready to, you know, be very strong on your bike and hold that line. There's another train right here, the light blue riders. They're sort of trying to match the Legion of Los Angeles team, which is interesting. So right now there's a little bit more competition than on the usual local criteriums that I've raced, and I was really interested in how this was going to play out. There were like 3 other teams that tried to sort of, you know, put up a lead out train and try to match whatever was happening in the front, and I was just sitting there watching it all happen, trying to not move back too far, and then I had to get in position at the right moment, which I was approaching. So it was getting more and more nervous. Right now we're going towards the finish again on this downhill, so I'm coasting, I'm sitting low. A couple guys are overtaking me on the side, so I'm going in their wheel to move up to the front again, because that's all the time. If you don't move up, you're moving back. If you don't move up, you're moving back. 4 laps to go, that's less than 10 kilometers. The finish is approaching. So right now I had to get into position. This team I was talking about before, they've got like 4 guys riding up to the front. So I'm like, okay, getting on their wheel. They're trying to match the other team with their lead out train. So if I can, you know, catch a little ride to the front, here we go. So I'm in their draft, going to the front, and I wanted to really go through this corner very well to make up some spots. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm getting in position, I'm pushing a little harder, and I'm gonna go through the inside and try and get in position. There's a lot of space right now. The lead out train here is going very wide, so they leave a lot of space on the inside. I use that space to overtake all these riders, and I get the best seat of the house. I'm on the former state champ's wheel, and his brother, who is gonna be the next state champ. Right there you see Robin Carpenter in the orange. He's just riding next to them. I guess he's strong enough to not need a lead out train and just, you know, match their train by himself to keep his position, which is awesome. He probably trains a little bit more than the rest of us, but yeah, I had to stay in the draft. Right now it gets very crowded, and I'm trying to squeeze through these gaps, and we only have 3 laps to go right now, and they're ringing the bell for a $100 Prix, which is going to even speed up everything a little bit more. And I still, well, I'm in pretty good position, so I'm trying to maintain where I am right now. Coming over the top, we're still going pretty fast. I've got a couple other very strong riders who are trying to make their way to the front. So again, this team with the blue kits, they're trying to sort of stay in a group and move up to the front. Every time somebody does that, I try to take advantage of it. And again, this corner, trying to stay on the inside. I did move a couple spaces back. There's a lot of riders next to the lead out train, which you usually don't see. In general, everybody's just fighting for that last wheel, so I was too far back, so I pushed a little bit harder, zigzagged through these riders, and I'm sliding in right here. Boom. Perfect spot. Robin Carpenter is by himself again, just pushing next to that lead out train. I'm behind them, trying to draft, coasting down, and it's getting very crowded. If you look at the rear camera, you can see so many riders, and everybody's hunting for that position. So I'm sort of on the prime spot right now that everybody wants to be in. And the only thing I have to do is sort of maintain this position for one more lap. Alright, crossing the finish, 2 laps to go. We're almost there, 5k left in this race. Rashan Bahati, number 7, moving up to the front. Very experienced rider. Nice guy, off the bike, very aggressive on the bike. So, yeah, he starts yelling at you when you're when you're next to him. Anyway, right now I'm in his wheel. I don't care as long as I stay in this position. We've got Robin Carpenter again, then Bahati, then me, and then in front of them is the Legion train. I know that if I don't go to the inside here, I'll get pushed back. So I just keep the inside, so there's not a lot of riders able to overtake me. And I'm maintaining position, so that's good. We've got a 1.5 lap to go, and I end up right here on the inside. You can see the guy in orange, Robin, is really pushing with CJ with the sweeper of the sprint train, because Robin knows how they work. He knows that it's gonna be Corey who's gonna go for the sprint, so he needs to get in his wheel. I'm getting pushed by Rashan here, who's almost pushing me in this gutter. I knew there was a big grid right there, so I had to go back, move to the side. I didn't want to go through that grid and risk, you know, messing up my bike. So the position I'm in right now is good. Another crappy thing is these orange fences that are coming up on the left, and I'm trying to sort of move a little bit to the left and to the right to defend my own position, which is going very well until now. The other pro rider with the 98 is here in blue, and this is the last lap. So here we go, 1 lap to go. From now it's gonna be all out. Everybody's gonna be doing crazy stuff to get in position, and I just need to maintain whatever I'm having right now. And we still have 8 riders of the sprint train, so they have a massive advantage, and they're way outnumbering anyone else here. And what they're gonna do is they're just gonna go full gas in the front, and they're gonna burn up all their riders until the finish. And that's what you're gonna see. It's gonna go really fast. So we're already being overtaken by riders up the hill who have momentum. So I'm like I said, I'm in the best spot, but it's also the most wanted spot. CJ, I don't know what he was doing, but he stopped, and I had to go around him. Right now I have a little gap. I need to push it. I'm coasting because remember, I'm still on that compact chain ring, so I've got a 50 in the front. So right now I'm just sort of spinning out, so I'm trying to coast as much as I can. Legs already started cramping with like 20 minutes to go in this race, so whatever moment I could sort of not pedal and conserve some energy for that sprint, I was trying. Last corner before the finish, going on the inside, I got pushed back a little bit, so I need to make up some spaces. So I go through the inside, I give a very hard push right now to overtake a couple riders, and I get back sort of in a good position, going over this hill again, going down, and I'm spinning out a bit. So I'm, you know, head down, I'm coasting, trying to stay on the wheel of the guy in front of me, but I make a mistake, and this is really where I lost the race. I let like 1 or 2 meters in between, and I just get overtaken by these riders, like boom, boom, left, right, and they push me left and on the right, and there's more riders overtaking me. I totally lost my position. The guy in front of me doesn't hold the wheel, so I have to go around him, and now I have a gap that I need to close before I can really sprint. So I need to sprint to close this gap. I get more speed, as you can see right now, and I'm overtaking like 5 or 6 riders, but that's only the riders that just passed me on that little downhill. So I'm sprinting, and yeah, I lost my position just after that last corner. Like I said, sprinting for the win is all about position. Here we go, another cycling fanatic. Aspen from Norway.
That's right.
How did you go today?
Uitstekend, mijn vriend.
Ah, he is talking Dutch.
Uitstekend.
He is talking Dutch. How
I
awesome
could
is
not
that?
hang with a Flying Dutchman though.
Dude,
I did the 40 plus and I won that one.
I couldn't even hang on with myself. It was going so fast. The last lap was fast, man.
I thought it-
More cycling fanatics. Hello, what's your name?
Anna Wilkinson.
Anna Wilkinson.
Yes, I'm a sister of one of the Colombian cyclists.
Really?
Edgar Garcia.
Oh,
yeah.
it's nice to meet you.
Yes.
Tour de France Pro.
Really?
Yes.
And you?
Greg.
Oh, it's on your shirt, right here. What do you think of the race today?
Great.
It was such a hard race, man.
It was really hard, yeah.
It was really hard.
We follow you. You did a great job.
Wow, thanks,
Yes.
thanks a
We were
lot.
screaming at you up there, dude.
Yeah, I heard so many people screaming my name. This was really awesome. So
Yes.
thanks a lot. Hi, Jasper. Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm so happy to meet you in person.
Oh wow, thank you.
Yes, I told
seems
my
like we-
husband we had to go and meet him.
Seems like
Wow.
we know your family so much on your videos that
Yes, and you
we gotta go
baby.
say hi, you know?
Oh, you baby's awesome.
How cool is this? It's so awesome to meet you guys. I mean, you are the people behind the channel. You know, you are the. This is the community, so that's awesome.
Right, we're coming from Orange County.
Really?
Yes, we're not local.
To watch the race?
Yeah, we watched the whole race.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
All right.
It was nice meeting you.
Hey, good job, Jasper. You killed it. Thanks, man. Check it out. More followers on the race today. And you did race as well or not?
No, she did. I just came from Sacramento. I'm from Sacramento.
Really?
Drove all the way here, yeah.
Yeah?
It's rooting for you, man. I was gonna go around like, Jasper!
Yeah, I heard a lot of people scream my name. It was awesome. All right, let's get a picture
Hey,
then.
actually, I want, yeah. Yeah, this.
With the sun this way?
Ready? 1, 2, 9.
All right. More pictures. Yeah, I'm moving. Dude, I'm cramping up. And, oh man. Tired. But it was nice and warm. Good atmosphere. No crashing.
Oh, no crashes today?
But there was like a lot of almost crashes.
17 straight up with the head, just straight up.
Yeah, but like we were not even touching before.
Yeah.
I was just sliding back to where it was, and he just boom gives me a head bump.
For no reason.
For no reason.
So you were actually gonna let him slide in anyways?
No.
No. What place was it? Like 10 back or like?
It was in CJ's wheel. So how many were they?
No, I think that was like.
Did they have any? Did they have even more guys this time than?
I think they had
what's it
what?
called?
8?
Was it, were you
Because
like,
they had the world champion time trial and whatever. The Legion lead out was 25 riders long today, and they pretty much took like top 20, and then there was the rest of the pack. Anyway, but really, dude, this last straightaway, freaking fast, because they had 6 guys, and the first guy just started sprinting, so it was 6 sprints in a row to the finish. So it was full gas to keep the wheel, and I was cramping up. And did you race?
Oh, I thought he did.
Who is that? I don't know. I think top 10ish. I didn't defend my podium spot of last year, but state champion. Can I have a little word with the winner of today? Dude, how do you guys do it that you dominate every single race? Give me your freaking secret.
He can't give you those secrets.
I don't know, man. You know, the pressure's been building and building.
I know,
Building.
because every time you win another race,
Everyone
the
keeps
expectations
expecting it, right?
get
Yeah.
higher and higher.
Well, today I felt really bad, and like I just had to suck it up, man. I was like, if I lose, I lose, and you know.
And now you win.
Yeah, you give your best.
Dude,
and,
I was
and it's enough.
chasing every single freaking move of you guys.
Well, that's why we had what? We had 8 guys today? Yeah, we had a lot of guys today, so
Yeah.
it must have been a tough task.
It was a really tough task. Yeah,
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
I know. Well, good job, man.
Thank you, man.
Maybe see you next year. I'm not sure.
Thanks for coming out, man. It's always awesome to have you at these races.
Good to race you, man.
I'll catch you later.
Hello, I'm Jasper, number what's it? 80. I don't know. What does it say?
You tell us.
82.
Alrighty, Jasper.
Actually,
There's a 60.
there.
Oh, no.
Saddle. That's so funny. Yeah, last year I won a saddle as well. Yeah, another saddle.
We just need your
Oh.
initials next to.
It was a hard race today, man. It was. Too bad I wasn't on this podium again.
Last year, second or third?
Third.
Was Tyler out there today? I don't think
He crashed. I think he crashed yesterday.
Good to see you, my friend.
Thanks. All right, 12th place and one Prix. I won a saddle and a check. So, you know, I couldn't defend my podium position of last year, but I think it was an awesome race, and I did what I could. I chased so many attacks, which took a big chunk out of me. I burned a lot of matches, so whew, I'm a bit tired. This was the 58th Manhattan Beach Grand Prix. It was my 3rd California State Championship in a row, and it might be my last race here for a while, and I mean like for a couple of years. Maybe next year I'm flying European flights. That means I'm not flying to Los Angeles anymore, and I won't be here for racing. So double feeling. It was a great race. I'm glad I finished the racing season successfully without a crash, and yeah, it was a good day.
See you later, Jasper.
Oh, hey, later. Taking an easy spin back to a hotel along the beach, passing the center of the known universe, aka the Manhattan Beach Pier. Probably doing the NPR coming Tuesday, just before I fly back home. There's volleyball events going on, so it's a nice day here out on the beach. Getting a smoothie at Hermosa Beach on my way back home. Tonight I'm gonna have dinner at Evan's house, Evan Stevenard. I think he won the category 3. He did a very good job. Tomorrow we're gonna be training together, so that's gonna be fun. Dude, he won the race across America in the duo category, and he set a new record, so I'm gonna ask him about it tomorrow. That's gonna be super awesome. All right, back in the hotel, a nice shower, and then get some dinner. Dude, I'm gonna sleep so good tonight. Tomorrow morning, wake up early and go for a nice training. Guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Gonna see you next time. See ya! All right, we've got Caesar here. What do you think of the race today?
The race is pretty fun. It looks challenging.
Always challenging in Manhattan Beach. What's your name?
I was called Aaron.
Aaron. Second place, Cat 5?
Yeah, dude.
Hey, man. We've got more racers here watching the channel.
Right on, dude. What's up, cycling fanatics?
That's it, man. Awesome. So you're waiting to watch the pros?
I'm waiting to watch you, man.
Awesome.
I'm waiting to watch the pros, see how fast you guys go.
I'm just getting ready and ready to rock and roll.
Do you have a game plan for today? Besides win?
I think just go really fast. I don't know.
I like that plan. That's a good plan.
Frankie, what's up, man? This is Frankie. Did you race?
I did not, no. That's next year. That's for next year.
Frankie's racing next year. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you.
I'm gonna wave at you when you're cheering at me, okay?
Heck yeah, dude.
All right, awesome.